What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Pregaming Pigskin. I am the NFL genius, Gene Walzak, and to my upper right, that my hand's pointing at Kyle, but I kind of meant the other way. But let's do upper. I'm doing it wrong. Check out my man Kyle Edwards on the ones and twos. Welcome him back. Kyle's been with us each week also, so we've been kicking ass Pregaming Pigskin each week. Yep. And welcome back from the World Series, Mr. Taking It Deep, the Godfrey. Went to the World Series last week, Philadelphia Phillies, but he's back with us this week. You know, we thought we had a connection, but he passed us up for some little lame baseball game.
Yeah.
We're Pregaming Pigskin here, Godfrey. What's up, Kyle? How you feeling tonight?
I'm good. Feeling better this week. I was a little under the weather last week, but I'm all good now, so ready to talk NFL.
You don't show it, brother. You don't show it. Your Patriots are playing some good football. They're playing a little good football. 26
defense for sure.
Another win. Yep. Another defensive battle.
Yep.
Mac or Bailey?
I mean, I do like what Bailey's doing, but I'm still sticking with Mac right now.
Returning to Mac. He's returning to the Mac. Mac or Bailey, Godfrey?
I'm going to stick with Mac right now. I think Bailey might have some more physical tools, but he needs to learn the game more. And that was very un-Belichick-like to make that switch mid-game. And I bet you he's regretting that because he got toasted and roasted by the Bears. And Justin Fields also had a hell of a game, but I did not expect to see the Bears go into New England and command the game like they did. I know you were shocked,
Key?
Kyle.
He's in the building. What's up, Key? How you feeling tonight? I'm ready to talk some football, boys. I'm ready to talk some football. Let's start with this. We have a Thursday night extravaganza. The Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. Wait, no, that's not it. That's not it. We got the NFC South tonight, boys. The Atlanta Falcons. First place Atlanta Falcons, 4-5 record, travel to the Carolina Panthers to take on PJ Walker. Man, I'm so excited. I love football. I'll watch it. I'll watch anything you put on Pigskin. But this is definitely not what Amazon Prime was thinking of when they signed the NFL to that astronomical deal. Was getting some Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers. Did you watch? By the way, I watched that game when they played just 2 weeks ago. That was a wild game. It was a really good football game if anyone watched it. That was a PJ Walker 65-yard bomb with like 20 seconds remaining to DJ Moore for a touchdown. And then the kicker missed the extra point because it was 15 yards back as DJ Moore took his helmet off. And then he missed a 32-yard field goal in overtime to win it after Mariota threw a pick. Nobody wanted to win that football game. It's exactly what you expect out of NFC South football. Did either one of you guys watch that game?
I did. Yes.
It was so bad.
That penalty at the end against PJ Walker, I think, was awful. I mean, I know it's the rule, but man, that, I just
talking about the helmet. That was DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore. Sorry, yeah, DJ Moore.
The
throw from Walker to Moore. Yeah, I mean, I think that was awful. It was a surprisingly entertaining game. That's for sure. Absolutely.
That it was.
I did not expect that. That was one of those games where you catch it late on Red Zone too. Where they're like, look at this game. Wow. This is what we thought it was. And crazy game. I don't expect that tonight, though.
I know it's rainy. It's windy. Ugly atmosphere down in Carolina. A lot of rain, a lot of wind. I will say this. I have a way stronger feeling on this game than I normally do. It wasn't one of my 3 for Pick'em, but I'm feeling stronger and stronger about it as I think about the game. So I'm about to make a really ludicrous, ridiculous comment, right? If you take them out, take out Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. Okay? Take them out of the equation. What running back would you trust to get you 1 yard in the NFL? In the entire NFL. What running back would you trust to get you 1 yard? Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, who?
I mean, I think I get where you're going with this, but I mean, I don't know if that would be my answer. But is the answer Deontay Foreman?
No, no, no,
It's
no, no,
not.
no.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're going Patterson.
Cordero Patterson
Yeah.
would be the one running back outside of
So
Chubb and
weird.
Henry. Yo, he runs so hard. And like I think him coming back to that Atlanta offense gives their run game just a different dimension. And I think Atlanta is able to run the ball in the ugly weather. Now I know PJ Walker's good with his legs. I know they got Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. But I think it's going to be what team's going to be able to run the football better tonight. And I think that answer is going to be the Atlanta Falcons with Mariota, Cordero Patterson, Tyler Algieri. I think the Falcons win this one. I think they win it pretty handily. I know the last time they played, it was a back and forth battle. I just don't think you'll get that. Here's another trend in divisions. I think it's 75 or 80% of the time when division rivals in the first game go over, they go under the second game. I think this game will be under the points total. I think it'll be very low scoring, very field goal-ish. And I trust the kicker for the Atlanta Falcons more than I trust the kicker for the Carolina Panthers. Give me a little my little Young Wei Koo with a walk-off. No, I'm just kidding. I think this game won't be that close. I really don't. I think the Atlanta Falcons win this football game, and I think they win it on the back of Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, I actually agree with that only because the way to attack Atlanta's defense is through the air, and PJ Walker's hasn't been consistent enough in that aspect for me to want to go with Carolina here. I mean, for all we know, there's a good chance we might see Baker Mayfield at some point in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, Walker last week had, 9 yards passing, and that's not going to work against Atlanta. I mean, they have their tackling issues, so you can run the ball on them, but you can get chunks of yards against this defense through the air, and Walker just hasn't done it. So I think Patterson, in a game where they're going to run anyway, I'll stick with Atlanta, and I think it's going to be probably 23-13.
Okay. I got a weird score. 19-6.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think it's going to be ugly. Ugly. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, man. Windy, rainy. Football's not going to be going well through the air. You got two not really great quarterbacks. And by the way, you brought up a point right there. You just said, I think we're going to see Baker Mayfield tonight. Why isn't he starting this game? After that Cincinnati game where Walker got pulled, Mayfield came in, threw 3 touchdown passes, and they just went back to PJ Walker? I don't understand that. That doesn't make Steve Wilkes has never been a good head coach. I know he's the interim there, but he's the guy that did a great job getting Arizona #1 pick so they could take Kyler Murray. Like that's who he is. But why is Baker Mayfield not starting over PJ Walker tonight? Godfrey.
Doesn't make sense to me. They're showing what PJ Walker has, but obviously Baker Mayfield, love him or hate him, has a better pedigree than PJ Walker, and he did come in and perform well last week. He's healthy. He's playing with no pressure. I think he will be able to utilize your receivers more than PJ Walker will, and he gives them a better shot at winning. I think PJ Walker's going to have a very short leash. I don't think he makes it out of the first quarter, personally. I really think the leash is going to be even shorter, and that makes it a hard game to bet, in my opinion. This game just feels weird. It's like a horror game. Like, it's going to be low scoring, but it also could be one of those games that could be high scoring because it's so damn ugly. You can see a return kick here, a safety here, a pick six here, and you're like, and it's just one of those games where it's like, I want to bet the under, but I don't, it's just, it's that kind of stuff that can happen. And, I definitely see the Falcons winning it. I just think they're a better team overall. Arthur Smith has their playing better. Obviously, Wilkes is an interim head coach. They're more stable. The thing, though, is I'm going to give this stat, though. I mean, Atlanta, they are beaten up in the secondary on a short week. And, DJ Moore torched them for 6 and 152 and a touchdown. Now, I know there was a big deep pass in there, but he still torched them, and that was PJ Walker. Am I to say that DJ Moore can't pull out with Baker Mayfield? I think he can. And Baker Mayfield is a good play action passer when the run game is present, and you can run against the Falcons too. So this game is just, it makes me feel icky. I feel dirty even trying to think about betting it. Yeah, I will, but I feel dirty doing it.
I don't know if I could give DJ Moore his roses for that 6. That was one big play, man. Like, he was 5 of 82 without a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or 5 of 62 without a touchdown. They had a 65-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden he's had a great game. He torched them. 6 for 130.
No, he had 162 though, so he still almost had 100 yards on him.
Yeah.
You go 5 for 90. I mean, they're just beatable. That secondary is.
100. I agree with you.
So the NFC South stinks. But I'm with you guys. I think you got to go Falcons here. Again, they're laying 2.5 on the road. I think that's where it currently sits at. The rain's a factor. You're going to get a QB pulled. I just think they're going to run the ball. You're going to see a lot of Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier. You might see some Caleb Humphrey mixed in there. And, Drake London, he can even catch passing. It's a low volume passing offense. But Mariota, did well against them last time they played. But, I think Carolina's defense, I feel like it's not as bad as people think it is. I mean, they're not great, but it's not horrible. They could put up a fight here. We'll see. I got to go with you guys on this. It's gonna be the Falcons winning.
Carolina or Georgia? I'm kidding. I won't do that.
That's tough. Well, some of them might be on that team next year.
Yeah, quite possible.
I guess my score would be, Atlanta 24, Carolina 13.
I knew you were going to say 13. My head already had that number. I knew you were going to say 13. But let's talk about some of the news that happened this past week. Jeff Saturday. Frank Wright fired. Jeff Saturday brought in. If you've seen his emotional press conference today about being asked about how unqualified he was. What are your thoughts on the Jeff Saturday hire and the relieving of the duties of Frank Wright? Kyle, start us off.
I thought it was a weird move to make in season, especially since the team's not going to go anywhere, and they probably won't under Jeff Saturday, but I guess stranger things have happened. It screamed of a publicity type of move from Irsay, because we know Jim Irsay wants to be Jerry Jones so bad. So what bigger way to make news than to bring in a former player that people recognize, been on ESPN each week. He was in the news, for the past couple of days. I'm sure he loves that. For other coaches around the league, they're probably looking at this like, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to work for Jim Irsay anyway. And now I probably really don't want to work for him after pulling something like this, where most teams would, promote within. As an interim coach, you use somebody who's actually in the building on the staff, not go to ESPN to bring a guy in. And, now you have, like, who's on the staff?
Gus
Reggie
Bradley.
Wayne, Gus Bradley.
Wayne.
They're all sitting there like,
Fox.
so they're like, why didn't you just make one of us the interim coach? I mean, I get it. We love Jeff Saturday. Yeah, Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday. Yeah, good old times. But it was just a weird move to me. I wonder what the players think about it. I mean, Frank Reich was dealt a poor hand since he's been there. Andrew Luck retires. They go sign Carson Wentz, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. None of those quarterbacks work. In this league, if your quarterback play isn't good enough, you're not going to win games anyway. So I don't see why all of that falls on Frank Reich. But, that's Jim Irsay being Jim Irsay.
Yeah. I mean, I want to light. I've been waiting to light the Colts up all week, so I'm going to set them on fire right now and not pee on them. Let me tell you something. This was, when they started Sam Ehlinger, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I was.
Yes, right.
Yeah. Whatever. It's that. I'm thinking, why are they doing that? Like, I know Matt Ryan wasn't great, but he was serviceable for what they had to do. Yeah, I don't think he was that far from Phillip Rivers' level of play in the Frank Reich system, right? And I'm like, all right, I don't understand what they're doing. All right, they want to see what this 6th round pick has. Oh, you drafted him as the future. I'm like, okay, I doubt it, but we'll see, right? And that's when the tanking began. And I have a sneaky suspicion. This is pure, I don't know, speculation on my part that they're maybe saying, we should put Matt Ryan back in. Maybe Frank Reich wanted to do that. He wasn't going to tank the way Irsay wanted him to tank. And Saturday doesn't know that he's the patsy because none of those coaches, Gus Bradley or anybody else on that staff, was going to step up and say, I'll take the tank job. And maybe Jeff Saturday in his mind thinks that, I'm going to come in and turn this team around and be a leader of men. Well, they're obviously tanking. I mean, I know Taylor practiced in full, but I think if anybody sneezes on him, they might put him on the injured reserve for the rest of the year because they're not interested in winning at all this year. And tanking isn't really synonymous with football because these players it's such a physical game. It's really hard to get someone to give up. And even on a losing team, you're putting on tape for, the next team you may be on. So you don't want to be out there not giving effort, but you could severely cut the legs off as an owner by benching a quarterback that you traded for and getting rid of a highly respected head coach. When you don't have a quarterback in the NFL, you have nothing, right? And to be at the record they were at with what Frank Reich has gone through is a damn miracle, in my opinion. They had the highest paid offensive line, and they're not getting the results out of them they expected to get. Your best offensive player is hurt. And then you're like, you know what? We're going to take this guy from Western Kentucky, and we're going to put him in a quarterback to see what he can bring. I'm like,
He's
what?
Texas. You're thinking Bailey Zappi.
Oh, Western
Texas. From Texas.
One of these schools that are never going to be in a title game. But anyway,
Texas is a big program, bro.
Western Texas?
No, regular Texas. He's from.
Oh,
Texas.
he was right. All right. So listen, my thing is this. I wasn't buying that. You're not drafting a 6th-round quarterback and then trading for a guy and saying, oh, he's really got something. Like Tom Brady was a mistake by accident, not something on purpose. I'm sorry, Kyle, but Mo Lewis should be, bronzed in front of the Gillette Stadium for what happened there. But my point is it just unfolded. And when they fired Frank Reich, we're like, oh, this is 100% a tank job. And we're seeing this. People are getting fired by bad owners because they don't want to tank. And that, Brian Flores got fired because he didn't want to tank, right? That was part of the reason. He shouldn't have been fired. He still should be coaching. And then you say, oh, well, we're not going to put this through the hiring process and give any minority coaches a shot. We're just going to go right to Jeff Saturday. What? It's a bad look for the NFL, and it just proves that the owners do whatever the hell they want when they want, and you can't tell me otherwise. And if he was in any other market besides Indy, he would be getting massive heat. You wouldn't be able to pull that off in New York or Philly or New England or Chicago, maybe Chicago, but San Francisco. Come on, like that is such bush league crap that Irsay is pulling. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing.
All right, first of all, I want to apologize to the listeners for all the blasphemous misinformation that Godfrey just spewed about Sam Ellinger. Start there.
He's not that great. I mean,
it was terrible, but he's the greatest quarterback in Texas school history. But that's not for here nor there. Let's go into the Jeff Saturday hiring. I'm gonna start with, okay, why did this happen? So did you not have any qualified coaches to run the team interim on the roster? Well, that couldn't have been it because Gus Bradley was the head coach and John Fox won a Super Bowl before. Okay. Hey, listen, we want a Ring of Honor member, former Colt, a Colt's Colt, a guy that's been with the organization from the beginning. Oh, no, that couldn't be it. Reggie Wayne was on the staff. Did they hire Jeff Saturday to be a snitch? Did they hire Jeff Saturday to go in there and lose football games? The thing that stood out to me the most was he elected the assistant quarterbacks coach to be their play caller for the Sunday. What? This kid's 30 years old. I don't know if you've seen this. Never heard of him. Assistant quarterbacks coach is going to be calling their plays. I don't understand what we're doing in Indianapolis. It's embarrassing. Frank Wright is a good head coach. You dealt with Andrew Luck for 1 year. Then he retired. Then you had Jacoby Brissett. So then you went out and got you Phillip Rivers. You made it to the playoffs. You were 3 points away from beating Buffalo. Then you go into Carson Wentz, who, by the way, up until the last 2 games of the season, was looking great for Indianapolis. And then that Raiders game happened, and then the absolute massacre in Jacksonville that was a joke happened. So Jim Irsay throws a temper tantrum, trashes one of his players, and trades him. Then you bring in Matt Ryan. He'll solve our problems. The offensive line's been halfway hurt all year. Shaq Leonard's been hurt all year. That's got to be Frank Wright. Let's fire him. Hey, one of you guys step up and do the interim role. I need you to lose football games. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Let's bring in Jeff Saturday from ESPN. It's embarrassing. By the way, what's up, Drace? I see the hook 'em horns on there. I want you to hook Godfrey for blasphemously talking about Sam Ellinger. But with that being said, he's definitely not starting in the NFL. So let me just end there. What's up, Dennis Cross? How you feeling? But let's get into a couple other news. I played this game last night on Wire to Wire, and I kind of want to get your opinions too, but we want to be a little quicker with it tonight because we got to get into some games. I'm going to play a game called Fired or Stays Hired. And I'm going to give you an NFL coach, and you tell me if he gets fired or if he stays hired by the end of the year. So say game 1 next year. Okay? I'm going to give you a couple easy ones in my opinion. I thought they were easy. But Wire to Wire screwed it up for me because they disagreed with me on mostly all of them. That's fine. Brandon Staley, first on the equation.
I have a feeling he stays hired. He probably should be fired, but I think he sticks around.
Okay.
Only because of injuries.
Godfrey?
Yeah, I think he should be fired, but I think he sticks around because I just think he's going to, it's hard to answer that 8 games in. But I think he stays around if they make the playoffs. Can I put him in Denver? All right. If they don't make the playoffs, he's fired.
Thank you. Brandon Staley needs to be fired. It's laughable to me.
Oh, he's an awful head coach. I was out on him last year when he let KC off the hook in those games.
Couple one-year wonders. Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh,
fired.
He is. He's toast. He's fired.
Josh McDaniels.
Dude, I don't know if they're tanking on purpose. I don't think he's a great coach, but I mean, what the that whole organization is a dumpster fire. Now Darren Waller's on injured reserve.
So is Hunter Renfrow.
Blake Martinez is like, retired.
He just quit. Led the team in tackles. Retired.
I'm done.
So wrong in that building, bro. Derek Carr called him out in the press conference after the game.
Yeah, he's apparently not changed much. I think he'll be fired. I mean, listen, you're at 2-6. You get Devontae Adams. It's going to be him or Derek Carr. And I think he's trying to tank for one of these quarterbacks coming out. I really do. I mean, that's a tough one, man. I think he deserves to be fired, but I still think he's going to keep his job because it's the Raiders.
Okay. Well, speaking of Devontae Adams.
I agree.
Speaking of Devontae Adams, what about Matt LaFleur?
Oh, I think I think he's hired. I think he's still going to keep his job.
I think he stays hired also. Cliff Kingsbury.
Fired.
You can't fire Kyler.
Smile, Kyle. You make me smile. Thank you, sir.
You can't fire Kyler, so you're going to fire. You're definitely Kingsbury's going to get canned.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, you got the Seahawks leading the division, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but you have opportunities there. You've been swept by the Seahawks already. He's going to be canned.
Yep.
Dan Campbell.
Stay. I think only because of the culture change that you got to at least give him credit for that. So I think he gets another year.
I got 2 more on my docket.
But I mean, is it a culture change or is he just shining a turd because they're 2-6? I mean, I don't know, man. I'd say fired. I mean, this is his 2nd or 3rd year. I think it's its 3rd year, right? Second. they're going to draft a quarterback. There ain't no doubt about it, right? I mean, they're going to bring in a guy that's an offensive guru, whoever that may be. I think Dan Campbell's gone.
You can marry them with the quarterback that you draft. You can get Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. You can marry them with the coach quarterback. What they did in so many situations. Now it doesn't work out everywhere, a la Brandon Staley, Cliff Kingsbury, but it works out a lot of places. Mm-hmm. Okay, next one on docket: Mike McCarthy.
Fired. Listen. I was saying it last year. He's a placeholder for either Sean Payton or somebody, or they promote their defensive coordinator. One of those two guys, I think, are the head coach of the Cowboys next year, because if they don't make the playoffs, which they should in the NFC, but I don't think the playoffs is enough for Jerry anymore, and he needs to see a win. And I just don't know. I see fired. I just don't see Jerry having that much patience with Mike McCarthy.
He probably flirts with Deion Sanders in the offseason. But yeah, I think he gets fired.
And the last one.
I would love to see Prime. I'm sorry. I would love to see Prime as a head coach. I would love that.
Coach Prime?
Oh my, dude, I'm there for just a press conference.
Yeah. And the last one on the docket for you gentlemen. Riverboat Ron.
Fired.
I think he stays. I don't know.
It's a lot of firings in the NFL.
He's coming unraveled.
Coaches.
I mean, isn't Riverboat Ron? He usually kind of holds his cool. He's been coming unraveled in these press conferences lately. He has not been the same Ron that I'm used to. I feel like I see him and I see the panic setting in his soul. He feels the flame at his back. I'm telling you, I don't know. I say fired, man. It's going to be what they call it, like Black Monday. It's going to be a busy day that day. That's all I got to say.
There's so many coaches in the NFL that are super qualified that don't have jobs. And if you don't want, I'll keep beating the drum for all the African-American coaches that are sitting there on the sidelines that should be head coaches in the NFL, a la Jim Caldwell, a la Brian Flores, Byron Leftwich, D'Amico Ryans. I'll continue going. There's plenty of them.
Can I throw in one for you? Hired or fired?
No.
Okay.
I'm kidding. Who is it?
This is controversial. I don't think it will happen, and I don't think he should. But Mike Tomlin.
No,
not a chance.
No. Okay.
No.
You should. It's funny, man. When you hear Steeler fans talk, they're like, "Oh, he's the reason why we're not winning. Get rid of him," which is totally incorrect.
Bro, that would be like the biggest smack in the face. And I get it. Art Rooney owns that franchise. It's not gonna happen. I'm just done. I'm not.
It's not. But you should hear. Yeah, I mean, I brought him up too because when I think of him, I think of stability, and to have a good football team, you need stability. You know, someone should be out there trying to find a next Mike Tomlin. Why not? Right? I mean, they're out there. Just got to give them a shot.
Yep.
All right, first regular season game in Germany. Little eggs and kegs action, little football and eggs action. 9:30 in the morning start. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off a Tom Brady comeback versus everybody's miracle Cinderella story this year, the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith. Listen, they wrote me off. I didn't write back. Geno Smith. That's the quote of the year right now. I'm not going to lie to you. That is the best quote. But who you like in this one and why? Kyle starts off.
This is tough because I like what Seattle's doing. You know, not a lot of expectations from the NFL media. But Pete Carroll has got that group playing for each other. They play hard every week. You got Kenneth Walker, who's emerged as a budding superstar. I mean, we already knew DK Metcalf was a beast, but Geno Smith has revitalized his career as well. So, I mean, I openly will root for them only because of the story that they're writing throughout the season. But I don't like going against Brady too often. And for some reason, I feel like that comeback win last week might have done something for him. You know, we all know about his off the field stuff that's been somewhat taken care of at this point. And, you know, they have the pieces there to go on a little run here and, you know, take hold of the NFC South because nobody else really wants to do anything with that division. So I think the Bucks get it, but I think Seattle makes it really tough for them. So I'm thinking probably 23-20. The Bucks struggle through another week, but they find a way to get a win.
Godfrey.
I feel like he got that win and he got that divorce finalized or that whatever in the public eye. And it's a great story for Seattle. They're both road teams. Every time you try to count Brady out, he just is like, "Oh, I'm not done yet. Sit down." And I don't know if that was really like a commanding win for him last week, but they definitely pulled the one off. And as well as the Seahawks are playing, how well are they playing? How well is the front four playing? They're not playing horrible, but I think they're exploitable. Their perimeter defense, as far as the corners, has been very exceptional. They've been playing well. But I mean, I look for Brady to keep feeding that Cade Otton kid, and the run game's been non-existent, so they're gonna have to reinvent that. I don't know what's going on there. I keep hearing rumors of Rashard White getting more tick than Leonard Fournette, but I'm gonna go with the Bucks here. It's gonna be a close one. I see a 23-20 game.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question real quick. Who do you think has better Super Bowl odds right now? The Miami Dolphins or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Got to be the Dolphins, right?
It's got to be Dolphins.
It's incorrect.
The Bucks?
Really?
The Bucks are 19-1 to win the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna tell you why I love that, and I might put $100 on it. Nice way to put it, right? Tom Brady is going to win that division. They're going to win Monday. They're going to win Sunday morning in Germany and beat Seattle. They're going to win that division, right? Everybody agrees Tampa Bay should win that division.
Yeah.
He's going to host a playoff game versus Geno Smith. Or sorry, not Geno Smith. Versus Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Then he's going to travel and play a playoff game at Kirk Cousins. And then he's going to play Jalen Hurts or Jimmy Garoppolo. That's wild to me. When you say Tom Brady or Kirk Cousins, Tom Brady or Daniel Jones, Tom Brady or Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady or Jalen Hurts, it's a resounding Tom Brady. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Julio Jones, they have the weapons there. Leonard Fournette. Tampa Bay's going to get it together. Mm-hmm. They got it together on that last drive. Beat the Rams last week. They get it together in Germany this week. Beat the Seahawks. This might be the best time ever to bet on Tom Brady. 19-1. I like the Buccaneers in this one. 27-17 Bucks.
Yeah, and there's an intangible everybody forgets about, and we talk about it after the fact a lot with Brady. He's an exceptional leader. When talk about a leader of men, there's a reason why a lot of veterans will prolong their career to play with him or come play with him. And if there's a guy that's a quarterback that can weather the storm, it's him. It's proven it time and time again. And those type of guys, that's why they have long careers. They're able to rally the troops.
It's incredible to me that he is the 5th best odds to win the NFC, but the 7th best odds to win the Super Bowl.
Wild. I would have never guessed that.
I hear you. All right, next game on the docket. I like the Bucks in that game too, bro. I really do. I was one of my picks this week. I'm very strong about it. All right, 1:00 games. Well, we got to go with the game of the week as far as record-wise. The Minnesota Vikings travel to Buffalo to take on the Josh Allen-less Bills. Josh Allen might not play in this game. He hasn't practiced again. It's looking more and more like Case Keenum is going to start. I don't know how lucky Minnesota can get this year. It's absolutely unbelievable. Just built-in loss. Case Keenum. Josh Allen's probably not going to play. What are your thoughts on this game? Godfrey started off this time. I'll go second, and we'll end with Kyle.
Yeah, I have no problem taking the Vikes here. I mean, it went from 8.5 to 3.5. Vegas knows something, right? I mean, I don't know. And the only reason it's jumping that low is because Josh Allen probably isn't going to play. I don't think they're letting on. There's a lot of injury conspiracies so far this year. I attribute it to bad reporting where you don't really know, and the teams are keeping pretty tight-lipped about it. I think that injury might be more serious than the Bills are letting on for him, and they're hoping and they're praying that it's not that bad. But if Case Keenum's playing, you're playing a 7-1 team. I don't know if they have the juice to beat this Viking squad. See, that's a big drop off from Allen to Keenum, the way that team's constructed. Keenum has experience with Diggs, so it could be competitive, but I think the Vikes on the road edge them out, which, and it's also not a primetime game, so you don't have Kirk Cousins being a mush on a Sunday night.
Don't steal my thunder. You almost did.
So I'm going to have the Vikings winning here. See something like a 27-24 game.
You almost stole my thunder. I started with you because I think I know where Kyle's going to go. I started with you because I didn't want you to steal my thunder.
Almost did.
Case Keenum, Stephon Diggs, revenge game. In Buffalo, the Minneapolis Miracle. Keenum down the sidelines to Stephon Diggs. Touchdown, Vikings win. And then there was no more Case Keenum. There was no more Stephon Diggs. That's the last the Minnesota Vikings home crowd has ever seen of Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs. Buffalo, listen, I don't care if it's Case Keenum, Casey Kasem. I don't care who's playing quarterback. The Buffalo Bills defense is going to get after Kirk Cousins in Buffalo, and this will be a statement game, letting the entire world know that nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. I got news for you. I'm going to wait till game time. I'm going to wait till Josh Allen gets announced out. I'm going to wait till that spread goes down to even. Now I'm going to lay a nickel, betting terms, on the Buffalo Bills money line, and then I might lay another $100 on the Buffalo Bills minus 13.5. I love Buffalo in this one. I think their defense gets to Kirk Cousins. I think he turns the ball over. I think they run it up. I think this game's a blowout. And I hope Case Keenum starts. The revenge game is real. Give me the Buffalo Bills. Kyle.
I actually think the Bills get this one. Because if there's one thing that I'll say for Case Keenum, he loves throwing the ball around the field. And he's not a guy you want starting for your team for 17 weeks, but short little pockets, a game or two here and there, I have no problem with Case Keenum with this Buffalo offense going up against Minnesota. And I think a lot of people will expect Minnesota to win this game, and this will be just the type of game where Minnesota will lay an egg. They'll probably let Buffalo hang around too long in this game. And then Keenum's going to hit a rhythm with Diggs and with Knox and all those guys. We might even see more of a running game in this game. But, yeah, I think Buffalo pulls this one out even if Josh Allen doesn't play. And I'd probably go with the score. I'll go 30-20 Buffalo.
Okay.
I'll be on that island. It's all right. I'll be on that island.
That's okay. That's all right.
So,
Nobody's...
Is Kevin O'Connell quietly having a really good first year? I mean, not a lot of people are talking about it. Or are they just getting lucky? Circumstance happens. I mean, I feel like last week was a game that would be that signature Vikings laying an egg game and ended up winning. I know it was the Commanders, but that is the type of game where you're like, yep. I've bet on the Vikings in the past, and I always remember saying to myself, why am I betting on the Vikings? I always get screwed by that egg game by them. But, it could go either way. But Kevin O'Connell, I mean, is he not having a very, really quiet first successful season so far?
He is.
Mm-hmm.
He is. Yeah. I want to read something to you. September 23rd, 2018. Bills shock unbeaten Vikings as 17-point underdogs. You guys remember that game?
I remember that.
It's the last
Yeah,
time
I
he's
lost on the other side. Yeah, I remember that game.
The Buffalo
I
Bills
remember.
on Sunday pulled off the biggest NFL upset in 23 years, and they did it in convincing fashion, routing the heavily favored Minnesota Vikings 27-6. The Bills, who were winless entering Sunday's game in Minnesota, closed as a consensus 17-point underdog and beat the Minnesota Vikings 27-6. Josh Allen's rookie year, the Bills defense turned the ball over. Tre'Davious White could be heard yelling off the field. You like that? You like that? I just feel like this is a Buffalo Bills victory. And no one circles the wagon quite like the Buffalo Bills. So give me the Buffalo Bills.
I remember
All right.
that game.
I do too.
Because I lost my ass on it. That was one. I missed a leg in a 5-team parlay, and that was one of the legs I missed.
Well, the good news is you didn't have to worry about much. I want to bring up for the 4:00 game the Colts. I'm kidding. We got the Cowboys headed into steamy, frigid Lambeau Field. Listen, if there's one team that Aaron Rodgers has their number, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys enter this game 4.5-point favorites on the road at Green Bay. How do you see this one going, fellas? Godfrey, start us off.
Man, there's a lot of trouble going down in Green Bay. So I see the Cowboys winning this. I mean, Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers is making bad plays you're not used to seeing him make. I just don't think I don't want to say he's done, but man, he just is not playing well. And it's not all his fault, but they're a team in disarray. And I think the Cowboys can go in there and beat them. I mean, I hate saying the Cowboys are going to win as an Eagles fan, but I just don't, -5 on the road, that's strong, man. And I know that's not going to really be indicative of the results, but I think the Cowboys are going to get after them on defense. And I think Micah Parsons is going to have a game, and he's going to cause some issues for Aaron Rodgers. So I see the Cowboys winning this game on the road. And then the Cowboys getting overexcited saying Super Bowl after they win. But, I see something like, 24-16 win by the Cowboys.
Kyle.
I agree. I like the Cowboys in this one. And, the comment that Godfrey made for Brady, where when stuff's not going right, Brady's the type of guy who can get into a locker room and actually lead the locker room and turn it around. I don't have that feeling with Aaron Rodgers at all. If there's anything Rodgers might do, he may split the locker room even more because he'll have his favorites and the other ones he probably won't even mess with. So Parsons, Lawrence on the defensive line, they're going to be in Aaron Rodgers' face all day. We're going to see a lot of him rolling his eyes, talking to himself on the sideline, putting his hair back, putting the helmet on, all of that. So he's just going to have another frustrating day at the office. And, yeah, Cowboys fans will probably, start booking tickets to the Super Bowl and all that after this. But they're just a better team right now. And I'd probably have it somewhere 23-10. I really don't see Rodgers doing much Sunday.
It's funny. Aaron Rodgers has had the Cowboys number for years, from playoff victories to, from the Dez Bryant to catch. Remember going back there, first Green Bay, but not this time. Nope. That Packers team is broken. They're broken. No receiving core. Dan Quinn can tell these defensive line and these linebackers, don't worry about the outside. Our corners will cover it. Don't even sweat it. Just get after the quarterback and stop the run. This game might get ugly, man. I don't think 5 points is enough, Godfrey. I'd feel comfortable taking the Cowboys if it was 8.5. I think 5's too low. I like the Cowboys in this one, 23-7. I don't think it's that close. I think that you're going to hear a lot of crying from Aaron Rodgers and calling out his teammates again. And I agree with you. The Tom Brady thing is different, man. Tom Brady will bring a team together, and Aaron Rodgers will destroy it. And I like the Cowboys in this one very, very heavy.
So, is there any truth that Kyler Murray and Aaron Rodgers are in the same clan on Modern Warzone? Just a rumor I heard out there on the internet.
Yo, first of all, since we haven't talked about that yet, did you see the clip with DeAndre Hopkins?
Yes. Yep.
Did you see this, Kyle?
No, I didn't.
DeAndre Hopkins, there's a clip, like an audio bite that gets out where DeAndre Hopkins wasn't having it no more with Kyler Murray. Wasn't having it anymore. And snapped on him. He's like, I don't know who you looking at. I don't know. I want to win. I don't know what you're doing. Kyler Murray was giving him body language, staring him down, like throwing his hands up, bad body language. You seen the Buda Baker clip in the at halftime? Buda Baker, come on, guy, I want to win. He's Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler arguing with each other.
Kingsbury has no balls. Listen, he's not a great coach, but if he wanted to defuse that situation, he should bench him for a quarter. I'm serious. I know it's not a winning recipe because, the next coach that comes in is going to have to be a strong personality to say, Kyler, you suck on this play. You got to be better. Like, he's going to have to be one of those coaches that are like, he's got to be coached hard. He's got to be broken in and coached hard. That's how you can untap the potential of Kyler Murray. Kingsbury ain't that guy. We all know that. But Kyler Murray, and that's why I made that comment. I just feel like Murray and Rodgers with their attitude are like brothers from another mother. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's pretty ridiculous when you look at it. It's awful.
Oh, I can't show it. I pulled up the clip.
I mean, D-Hop wants to win.
What are you looking at, bro? What you see? I want to win. What are you looking at, bro? What do you see? I want to win. Stop looking at me. Don't stare at me like that. Like I'm the issue. What do you see? I want to win. Destroy it. And it's terrible. It's really bad. How bad Cliff Kingsbury is allowed that situation to get. How bad how much of a baby Kyler Murray is. I'm sorry, I just wanted to bring that up. This topic that you should look it up, man. That clip's a little wild. AJ Green's in the background supporting DeAndre Hopkins. Zach Ertz has gotten into it with him this year, throwing his hands up at him. The
ultimate nice guy.
Yeah, the culture over there is not good.
Yeah, and the culture in Green Bay is not good. Just circle back to that. What made me get off board with Aaron Rodgers, I thought he would maybe come back, is he has always destroyed the Lions. No matter how bad the season's gone, Hail Mary throws at the end of the game. He has always commanded that matchup. And the Lions are not a good team right now. And he couldn't handle it. I don't care that he only has Alan Lazard. If you're supposed to be one of the top guys, look at Brady out there. He's fighting with Cade Otton, and he's got talent, but there's tons of injuries on offensive line. And Rodgers, I just think, refuses to adjust his game. He says, simplify the offense. What are you talking about? You audible all the time on the field. That offense is pretty much catered to you. Stop making excuses. A great leader is able to accept responsibility for their faults and move on. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that quality, and neither is Kyler Murray.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yep.
All right, so why don't you start us off? We got 3 more games in the docket. I want to talk about this game's divisional game. We just brought up Kyler Murray. Cardinals are going into L.A. to play on the Rams. I think both teams are in a little bit of a dumpster fire action. After the game, Jalen Ramsey called out the offense in L.A., so you got a lot going on between these two games. The last time the Arizona Cardinals played at L.A., at the L.A. Rams, it was not a good game for the Arizona Cardinals. It was a playoff game last year, and the Cardinals got absolutely mollywopped. What are your thoughts on this one? Did anything happen differently? And I'll start. I love the Rams in this game. I think the Rams win this one big. I think that Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, there's a lot of talent on that Rams team. So give me the Rams. I said the Rams would be the best second half team in football after their bye. Was wrong. They're 0-2 since then. But yeah, I still like the Rams over the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are one of the worst cultures in football.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Rams as well. And the Rams have their own issues on the field, but I think they're issues that are fixable. Cardinals' issues are much deeper than just on the field, and that usually takes some firings and some type of change within the locker room to actually fix what's going on in Arizona. So I don't expect that to get fixed until the offseason, if then. But the Rams, it's, the offense hasn't looked right. Stafford's been up and down this year. Running game's been hit or miss. They just got to figure it out. Whether it's sticking to Henderson in the backfield. I mean, I know Akers kind of made it seem like he doesn't want to be there, but something's got to give. There's too much talent on the Rams to look this bad week in and week out. So I fully expect the Rams to win this one. I'd go 27-16.
I'm over here stretching because I'm about to get into the Rams' ass. Oh, hold on a second. Just wanna let me tell you something about the Rams. And Gene knows I'm a mark for this. They won the Super Bowl with Stafford, so I admit it ended up being worth it. What they did, and Stafford's not a bad quarterback, but he's going into concussion protocol all of a sudden. So if he doesn't play, I'm pretty sure we're all going to change the pick a little bit. I mean, I'm not taking John Wolford, but if he does play, here's the problem.
I'll take John Wolford still.
Will you? Okay.
Over Kyler Murray.
And it's a valid statement because listen, it's a dumpster fire. These are both dumpster fires. The Rams are a dumpster fire in a different way, and the reason is now their depth is being exposed. Right when you have injuries, they don't have anybody to replace it. Their receiving core, when their top guys are down, reminds me of the Eagles' receiving core last year. Very thin, very, very thin. A-Rob, I don't know if it's him or the offensive line, but their biggest problem is that O-line. You haven't replaced Whitworth. When you get rid of your draft picks, to pay it forward, and they won the Super Bowl, so it was worth it. But now it's time to pay the piper. And I was saying all year, at the beginning of this year, they won't make the playoffs, and I still don't think they will. And they weren't going to win the division. I would have took the Niners any day. I didn't take the Seahawks, but I still think the Niners could pull it out. But that's just me.
The Niners.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the Rams are their own kind of dumpster fire. The culture's not really bad. They got injuries, but there's no depth there. I mean, you're pushing out Ben Skoranek, and you're hoping Kerwin Williams can come in there and light up the running game. Nah, man. This is a game where you would have to kidnap me and put a gun to my head to bet. But if I'm going to bet it, man, this is a tough one. But I'm gonna ride with you guys. I mean, they're at home, and if Stafford plays, I mean, I don't know if I could jump on if Wolford plays. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I just don't think there's going to be as much offense as this game thing. I mean, the total's 40. I could see this being like a field goal fest or something like that, like a 18-10 game, something weird like that. Both teams are out of whack, and the Rams offensive line is just putrid this year. They just don't have the talent on there.
I got a fun one for you. The 5-3 Los Angeles Chargers travel to San Francisco to take on the 4-4 San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Anyone want to guess the spread on this game?
I kind of cheated already, but Kyle.
I'm going to guess the Niners are probably the favorite.
By how many?
I'll go 3.5.
It's Niners -7.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen this. I said the same thing when I seen it. Now, the Chargers have a ton of injuries, and I understand CMC has made the 49ers look a lot better. Still Jimmy Garoppolo, man. You got Jimmy Garoppolo versus Justin Herbert. With that being said, I'm still going to take the 49ers in this one. Their defense is just better. The Los Angeles Chargers have so many injuries on their front. Their offensive line's been hurt. J.C. Jackson's played a half of football. It's, Joey Bosa's still out. Mm-hmm. I really believe that this is a 49ers route. And I think that I had this conversation last night. And I'm not saying Justin Herbert isn't great, because he's really good. But can we pump the brakes on acting like he's the next coming? Because Joe Burrow, I said since draft night, is the better quarterback. And everyone told me I was crazy after Justin Herbert's rookie season. And Justin Herbert's way better than Joe Burrow and this and that. Well, guess what? You know, the rain washes a lot of that mud away. And Justin Herbert is 19-20 as a starter in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's 39 games. We'll talk about that's a big body of work.
True.
Yeah.
I like the 49ers in this one. Kyle?
I agree. I mean, I've made it known that I think the Niners will be probably the second half team to watch in the NFC. So I can't really make a statement like that and then not pick them, especially against the Chargers team where the biggest piece they've been missing is Keenan Allen. The minute he's went down, that offense hasn't been right. Eckler, he can still make plays, but Keenan Allen is that piece that they need to get back soon, because that game against the Falcons last week, they didn't look that good.
No.
And they probably should have lost that game if it wasn't for the D lineman just dropping the ball on the turnover, which gave the Chargers the ball back. But
they ruled that play that it was down, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I think that
okay, I got you.
I think the biggest part of that game was Khalil Mack ripping the football out. Did you see that play?
From Drake London.
Just took the ball from Drake London. He deboed the shit out of that ball.
Yeah.
Welcome to the league, rookie.
Did you see that play, Godfrey?
Yeah. Welcome to the league, rookie. That's basically what it was like. Yeah.
Oh my Lord. I was floored. Just took his arms like my ball.
Right, because he saw Mack come in, he put both hands on the ball. But Khalil Mack was just like, yeah, I don't care about that. Yeah.
Just took it. Didn't even strip it. Just took the ball.
That was crazy. But yeah, so I'm going with the Niners in this one. That's the game we're talking about. But yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry. So yeah, Niners over the Chargers, and I would go. Oh man. Probably go 23-17.
Okay. You don't think they cover? I think they cover.
I think they cover, and I'm going with the Niners. I'm going to give you a stat of why, and this plays right into the Niners' strength. The Chargers are fourth worst in rushing DVOA, second most points, PPR points. This is a fantasy stat, and they get destroyed on the ground. They still are getting rocked by the rushing, and that is the 49ers. You got Christian McCaffrey. Elijah Mitchell's going to be back. They're going to run the ball, eat the clock, beat them by more than 7, and it's a sneaky under at 45, I think. Josh Palmer, I've always liked him coming out of Tennessee, and I thought it'd take a couple years to develop, and he had a good game last week. But I don't think that's this game, and that's essentially their number one receiver. DeAndre Carter's your number 2 receiver. You and Gerald Everett might even be your number 1 target on the team, and Austin Eckler maybe. So it's the Niners play the running back well also. So, on the defensive side of the ball, the Niners match up well against them too. So, I mean, in a matchup sense, it's domination 49ers, and they're coming off a bye. Debo's fresh. I expect a game out of him. Christian McCaffrey's fresh. He's got another week in the playbook. You got a fresh Elijah Mitchell. They're going to probably ease him in. I just don't see any way, really. I mean, I was surprised when the spread was -7, but then when I thought about it, it should be -7. It really should be.
Oh, I hear that. I'm kidding. I put that out there because 5-3 playing 4-4. You wouldn't, the Justin Herbert versus Jimmy Garoppolo, you wouldn't think that would be a 7-point spread. But that Niners defense is legit. Nick Bosa has been unbelievable.
Yeah, and
Talanoa Hufagna. I can't say the guy's name. Hufagna. I don't know.
Let's call him Baby Palomalo. Palomalo. Baby Troy or whatever. Make it easy. But I totally get that, and I see the Niners winning from I know this sounds pretty damn lopsided. I could see like a 30-7 win for the Niners. And it's just I was looking forward to this game, and I still am. But Keenan Allen not being there, he's another one that's had he re-injured his hamstring during the bye. Wow. We're even playing. We're not even playing this week. What happened? I don't know. I hope the guy gets better, and he's not coming back till he's 100% better. Totally get it, but I mean, dude, it's not going to be as close as you would think. And yeah, I get it. It's in mine F's you because you're like Garoppolo versus Herbert. Yeah, wait a second. And then when you think about it, it's really not close. The Niners are going to dominate this team.
I agree. Last game on the docket. This should be a quick one. We got to roll. 8:05 is when the next show. We're on the TV, right, Kyle? You got the TV key in there? Perfect.
Yep.
So we got to roll in 4 minutes. The Philadelphia Eagles are playing at home versus the Washington Commanders, the Commies. If you want a full breakdown of the game, tune in to Birds Deep. We gave a full breakdown for a full hour, 6 to 7, earlier today. But this game should be a whitewash. It's going to be a laughable game. I think the Eagles dominate this game, control the clock. I don't think it's close. I said this earlier. The Eagles have the edge at every single position on the football field. There's not one position group on the entire football field I would give the edge to the Washington Commanders on. And Jalen Hurts or Taylor Heineke. Miles Sanders or Brian Robinson. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins, or Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and some Sims. The offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers, the secondary, the kicker, the head coach, the ball boy, the home stadium. Eagles by 1 million.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about the game. I mean, it's the Eagles should dominate. This should be another game similar to the game we just talked about where you could see a score of, I mean, me and Gene talked about it earlier, 40s. I see it getting into the 40s. The Eagles will dominate. Yeah. I see I'm going to go with the same score I said, 45-20, and I'm just saying they're only scoring 20 points because the Eagles starters are sitting on the bench by the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I'm staying with my 42-17 I gave out on Birds Deep. I think this is a blowout. I don't think this game's close. I think that the public is all over the Washington Commanders right now because of the close game they just played versus the Vikings. I think the Vikings are the biggest fraud one-loss team you'll ever watch in your life. Yeah, I like the Eagles a lot here. Kyle?
I completely agree with you guys. I'd go probably 38-13.
I love it. I got a Patriot fan on it. Who the Patriots got this week, Kyle?
We are on the bye.
Oh, you got the bye. You can't lose that one.
Nope, not at all.
You guys are absolutely dominating. Every time people count out Bill Belichick, he just shows you why you shouldn't.
Yep.
That's it for us. I mean, it's 8:05. 8:05, we got the next show that pops on. Subscribe to Sports Empire Network, Wire to Wire Sports Podcast, the Big Three on Tuesday with Kyle Edwards, Birds Deep, Taking It Deep with D. Godfrey, Pregaming Pigskin, YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. I'm feeling great. I feel great. I'm going to go see Black Panther. Kyle, any final words?
Oh, another great show.
Maybe
not the best Thursday night game, but can't help myself. I will probably watch every minute of it. So
I swear I thought he was going to be like, not the best show. Like he said, not great, not the greatest show, but
nah.
Godfrey, any final words?
No. The only thing I'm excited. One thing I'm excited about. We didn't get to talk about is I want to keep watching the ascension of Justin Fields. That dude is a stud,
bro. Justin Fields. Yo, I tell you right now, my shirt comes in next week. I'll be wearing it at all my shows next week. I bought a shirt.
Imagine
you hear about the shirt I bought?
No.
I bought a shirt, a custom-made shirt that says "Free Justin Fields," and it's got a bear with a crow X through it.
Yeah. Listen, imagine if the Niners drafted that kid. I just want to put that out there. Imagine it. And I was saying that the year.
Imagine if the Jets drafted him and said Zach Wilson and Justin Fields here.
I said he was second best behind Trevor Lawrence. Right now, he's looking like the best quarterback out of that draft.
I have him still second. I'm not going to go nuts. But listen, I don't go nuts. I let time do the talking. Before the draft started, I had Lawrence, Fields, Lance, Wilson, Mack. I still feel the same way. Before the draft, I had Burrow, Herbert, Tua. I still feel the same way. I don't overreact like this, one game. It's like, did you see what he did? Circumstances, defenses, a lot of things matter.
Yeah.
Games slowing down for him, though. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, but it's 8:06, gentlemen. We got another show. It's already on the network. So thank you guys for tuning in to Pregaming Pigskin. We'll be back next week at a regular scheduled time, 7 to 8:05. Thank you guys for tuning in and have a great one.
All right.